Side hustles are a great way to make extra income. As you guys know, I'm a bit of a workaholic, and when I'm not being productive, I am bored out of my mind. In 2020, the pandemic hit, and I was not happy about it. Everything got shut down, and I was stuck at home. If you ask any of my old assistants or associates, they'll tell you John could not wait to get back to work. I'm not really one to take time off. Typically, I'll take 1 week for my birthday, and then that's about it. Thinking back to when COVID happened, that was probably the best time to have started this channel. But here we are now. But I started to fill my time every day with reading books, taking 3-hour walks, playing lots of video games, and unfortunately, that all got old really, really fast. And that's when another friend of mine told me she had started doing Instacart every day and really making bank. And I was like, that sounds interesting. And I didn't really need to do it, but I really needed to feel productive, which is part of why I do these videos. With my new job, I can only work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday because the executives don't work after that time, and they're definitely not coming in on the weekends. So in my free time, that gives me the ability to drop knowledge for all of you guys. So anyways, I signed up. It took about 3 weeks to get past their waiting list, and then once I was in, I was like, let me try this out. Now it's 2024, and people are no longer just staying in their house in fear of getting sick. So the money metrics here have probably changed vastly, but in 2021, I was able to pull about $500 every 2 to 3 days. And the cool part is you make your own hours. And personally for me, it was great because I really felt like I was helping people. Most of the time you're doing deliveries for really, really elderly folks who, if they did leave the house, there's a good chance they could have had health complications and gotten sick. And from all the extra side hustle money I was bringing in, I got to do some great things. I got to pay off my car. I went to San Diego for a week. I paid off all my credit cards. I gotta say, the extra cash was a nice bonus. And then the lockdown ended and I went back to work. Now, there are some pros and cons to working a driving delivery side hustle. The money's pretty great if it's just extra. However, it will produce a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. My car is in fairly good shape, so I didn't have a lot of issues. I did have to change out my tires, but if you don't have a newer vehicle, it may not be the best thing to do. Second, a lot of planning should really go into it. It can be quite difficult. When I was doing it, I wasn't paying attention to the logistics of it at all. And luckily, I really love to drive, so I could just get behind the wheel and I'm going. I'd see a big order and I'd hit accept. And sometimes that would take me like 45 minutes away from where I was, which ultimately was not worth it. And on some of the orders, you'll end up getting those customers that live in 3-story buildings, and they'll order like 5 cases of 40-gallon packs of water. And you're like, really? And I gotta walk up all these steps, and then I gotta drop it off at the door, then I gotta go back and forth and back and forth. That part was annoying. Luckily, I'm a big guy. I work out, but I definitely did not enjoy that. There's also the need to be in an area that's called the hot zone. And I don't actually know if it's called the hot zone, but basically if you're in an area that has like a Costco, a Fry's, a Sam's Club, that area is going to get new orders every couple of minutes, and they're usually going to be on the larger side. So if you had to drive out and make a delivery that was like 45 minutes away, and then they lived in the middle of nowhere, you'd have to drive all the way back to the hot zone just to get started again. So if you are thinking about doing something like this, keep that in mind. Really plan it out. There's a lot of great gig economy YouTubers out there, so check them out to see what their advice is. The third con about all this is the way the rating system works. So you could do like 100 great batches is what they're called. And awesome, you have your 5-star rating, but the moment you get one bad complaint, it drops your rating down. And the more your rating drops, the less likely you are to see those high rated batches or batches that are going to make you a lot of money. I was lucky enough to maintain a 5-star rating because, I went a little OCD and I watched a lot of videos on what was the best way to maximize this opportunity. And so I was doing all the stuff that the pros were doing and I got a lot of great ratings. But if you make a bunch of great deliveries and then you get 1 or 2 complaints, That's going to knock your rating down. And what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing lower priced batches. So instead of getting an order for $100, you might start seeing ones that are like $20. And you're also timed on your delivery speed. So if you're not fast, then that counts against you too. And number 4 is pride. So a lot of people, they're like, ooh, delivery? I can't do that. I'm a boss. But should you really care about that? I mean, if you're bringing in an extra $4,000 a month in addition to what you already make, why would you ever care what someone else thinks? I remember listening to a story on the My First Million podcast, and they were talking about this guy named Steve Davis. And if you don't know who Steve Davis is, he runs the Boring Company for Elon Musk. But check this out. This dude had a vision of opening up a frozen yogurt shop in Washington, D.C., and he did. Now, this dude's a millionaire. He doesn't need to do this. But on his free time, he opened up a frozen yogurt shop. Nobody knew who he was. He would get behind the booth, and he's serving frozen yogurt to just random people in Washington, D.C. Now, that's a passion type of side hustle. But do you really think that dude cares what anybody thought? No. And again, if you're pulling in an extra $4,000 a month, I really think you can put your pride to the side. But in addition to all of that, you can do side hustles online as well. I have this one friend, his name's Steve, who is an actor. And what he does is he helps people practice their lines on this website called Audition, which I think is pretty cool. And then I have another friend who's found a really fun side hustle at night when she's not working. She's training AI to do what I tell you guys in that other video, to think like humans. I tell you, AI is a wave of the future. Don't sleep on it. And then my friend David has recently started selling kids coloring books on Amazon. And they're great. They're professional grade. They look amazing. He loves doing it. But that's his side hustle to what he really does for work. Because he has a background in graphic design, but that's not what his current job is. So how else can you capitalize on something you love and you know how to do? Side hustle. And his wife Tiffany has started her own side hustle as well. She's a full-time stay-at-home mom, but she's really into herbalism. So what she's doing is making like soaps and really educating people on the natural things that can help them in life. So go ahead and check her out on Instagram as well. And basically what I'm getting at here is there is a vast way to make extra money, especially if you have extra skills that you don't really use. Maybe you're into embroidery, maybe you're able to make jewelry, maybe you like to write. You can get a website, you can get an Etsy shop, you can sell stuff on eBay. There's so many ways to make extra money if you're willing to put in the time. I feel like most people have their 9-to-5 job, but if you're really willing to put in the time and effort after work into something that you love to do, it's not going to feel like work. With access to the internet at the palm of your hand at any given moment, we have more access to learning things than we ever have before. I'm a chess player, so I'm very calculated in the moves that I make, and I've been blessed to break into tech, which is a field I've been really wanting to be in for a long time. But that came from consistently putting in the effort to learn something new when I wasn't working my retail 9-to-5. If you're trying to side hustle because of bills and you need the money, I get it. But if you can really focus on something you love to do, it can definitely pay off. If you're happy where you're at in life and enjoy the job you're doing, but the culture sucks, check out this one. And if you found value in today's video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.